Hello, everyone, and welcome back after the longly anticipated Game 3. Chicken Gang are up 2-0 in this series against Mamba Mentality. Game 1 was really convincing. Game 2, there was fight back from Mamba Mentality for continuing the trajectory. Here, Ito, we could be headed to a Game 4.
We definitely could be. We'll see what Mamba, like I said, this is a difficult situation. They are down 2-0. We'll see what they change up. They probably did not hate their draft last time, but they just weren't able to quite execute on it. So we'll see what changes they make. I know they already made a change to their lineup. Malone no longer in the jungle. They instead subbed in Tony to Raw to play jungle, and the young slider is still in the mid lane. So they do have a slightly different lineup here in game 3, picking up, bringing in their sub. Perhaps they will
All
then
right.
have this will probably show a different champion, but we already see a difference in the bans. We did not see that Fiddlesticks ban that was reserved for Malone from Chicken Gang. Instead, now banning Kazakhs, a common jungler for Tony Raw.
And thought we were going to get a Nautilus there, a little bit of playmaking from the Mamba support in Mario, but instead we're headed straight back to that Karma. It is a scaling lane with a lot of range. Once again, every time we talked about this bot lane, it feels like it's an early lead for the like of Mamba Mentality, but Chicken Gang, man, they just find a way back in, and Lulu has been a consistent answer. They're headed straight down that same alley.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? Why fix it? Yeah. So yeah, this worked out really well for them in game 1. This Ezio and Lulu playing. Yeah, again, I mean, they know that the strength of Mount Mentality is this bot lane, so they're just trying to keep this bot lane, try to keep them under control. Try to slow them down. Do not let them get ahead. Mario Flames is an insane player. They're very rare that, and that's what yet again we'll see the the first phase lock in of a mid lane champion for Ethan for Shredded Leathers, and we see him back on the Syndra that we saw him do so well on in game 2. And unlike, like, he wasn't like dominating in mid lane with like solo kills and stuff like that in game 2, but boy oh boy, those late game catch outs. And oh, Youngsider said run it back. Run it back. He said run it back. I can do better this time. And decides to pick up the Yasuo yet again.
Yeah, it didn't find much solo lane threat, but young Slider did have some moments in those team fights that certainly looked pretty impressive, and he wants the same matchup, so they'll give it to him before Chicken Gang have the opportunity to ban out that Yasuo. The question is, what kind of setup does young Slider get this game? Last time Hacksaw on the Malphite worked out, I'd say at best okay. This time it's going to
Yeah,
be banned away, so they're going to have to find
yeah.
something else to work with.
Yeah, they're gonna ban away that Rumble that Indefiance did so well on in game 2 as well. But yeah, Chicken Gang is like, oh, I see you lock in Yasuo. You're not gonna get Malphite, and then go ahead and ban away the Malphite. I find it interesting though. Mount Metallic doesn't use any bans on Sheep on the top lane. They're like, you know what? That man's gonna go get his anyway. He's gonna
Yeah,
get his, so let's just stop the jungle pressure. So they.
ooh.
Real?
Ramus
Is this
may
real?
be the lock-in here for Mamba
Wait.
Mentality. If you want some CC, you want a tank in your front line with an extra bit of a knockup, Ramus is certainly an opportunity for that. Maybe just a bait, though. They were just baiting us, Ito. I thought we were going to have some fun. Instead, it's the Echo selected.
Wait, I was about to ask, does Rammus's new ultimate knock up whenever he lands?
It does indeed in the center,
Oh,
yes.
okay. Yeah, so I was okay. That could have been. I was like, all right, maybe they found something Yasuo. It's like, oh boy, look at this. This looks familiar. Look at how
Yeah,
fast
that's,
they locked it in. Because
and
they're
maybe they're
baiting him into
predicting a
Shen.
Shen.
They're baiting him into
Yeah.
Shen. They say, hey, please pick that Shen for us. Oh, how useful it was whenever we did this Silas and Nocturne. So they're expecting the Shen from Haxon to put Haxon in a difficult situation here. You don't have your Malphite. We want you to pick Shen so we can have the Shen also. What will you pick? Huh? Oh, that. Oh my God, he's picking it. Okay, okay. We typically see Hacksaw on the tank duty in the top lane, but he decides that, all right, I'm gonna fight. All right, I'm gonna choose an ultimate that'll be useless for you.
All right.
Okay,
Well,
very
it's a
interesting.
different look in game 3 when you're down this far. You can, I mean, there's something's got to change. And Hacksaw says, put it on me this game. But to be fair, Mamba Mentality have 4 carries. They have the Jinx for the backline damage. They have the Yasuo dashing around, the Echo to cause some disruption, and Jax, a late game scaling threat as well. So everyone here has potential to carry game 3 for Mamba. Chicken Gang, it feels like a bunch of comfort picks because it is a bunch of comfort picks. They know exactly what has won them these previous games, and they are headed right back to that formula. So, man, Mamba, if it works out, I love what I'm seeing. If it doesn't, you gotta wish him adieu.
Yeah, you gotta wish him a doing. You gotta say, well played, Chicken Gang. Well played in their draft. Well played in their execution. Mama Matade had an incredible draft in game two, but Chicken Gang just played it so well. I keep going back in my mind to that team fight by the Dragon Pit where three members individually dodged the Flash ultimate from Malphite. That I think that would have
Mhm.
been such a turning point. If that had gone the other way and all three of them would have been knocked up and ulted by Yasuo, that could have been a completely different fight. Could have changed the game by a lot. That could have been like 3 kills on Yasuo right there. It would have been a very big difference. So, but we'll definitely see. I feel like in this game, the team fight plan is not as obvious from Mama Matadi for me as compared to game one and game two. So they're definitely seeming to be trying a bit of a different strategy here because, well, game one and game two it didn't work out. So all right, let's just go for individual play and see what happens here. But I think
Yeah,
I don't know, I think that's a very
Mhm.
tough thing for them to do. We'll see what happens.
And it certainly is tough to switch up in the middle of a series like this. They've had a little bit of an extended break to talk things over, to figure out what they need to do. And this is what they've come up with. It's a very scaling. There isn't a lot of early game threat for Mamba. So if they want to play this one slow, they have that opportunity. Some good disengage with the Karma as well. Even Jinx can provide some good disengage. But Chicken Gang, they have some early skirmishing power in the Nocturne, Silas, and Syndra. They're headed back to that late game scaling bot lane as well. The Ezreal has worked out so well. It is a quadra kill we saw in game one, and I expect nothing less from this bot lane. Sure, you can go down early, but Bowkeeper, man, when he hits his items, whether it was Jinx last game or Ezreal in game one, he just hits a ramp and he flies out.
It really does. Honestly, I'm almost dooming and glooming. I feel like this is gonna be feast or famine here for Mamatati. Either they get up to a great start and they just roll with it and they snowball, or I feel like I don't see their comp late game really doing the work that Chicken King's comp will do. I got my money on. There's Malone in the chat. I got my money on Mamba big jungle upgrading. He says as he sits on the sideline and watches his team battle it out here in game three to avoid elimination and still try to see if they can punch their ticket to the finals.
Yeah, at least he has a good attitude about it. Love to see it. And well, I would like to see us go the distance here as well. So maybe I'm on that same train, but we are in to the spectator delay. These players, these summoners are hitting the rift as we speak, but we'll have to wait a little bit longer to find the outcome. Does Chicken Gang take a convincing 3-0 over the likes of Mamba Mentality and grant themselves a chance to win it all? Or does Mamba have something to fight back with in this series, forcing us to the later stages? We will be right back after a quick break, and we'll see you on the Rift. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, and everyone that is tuned into the Black Twitch League, because it is game 3 between the Chicken Gang and Mamba Mentality. It is series point for Chicken Gang. If they get their third and final win, it is semifinals over, and they will be the team advancing to play in the finals matchup. But Mamba Mentality going with a lot of comfort and a lot of tools to carry this one through.
We'll see the 5-point start here from both teams. Nothing too crazy here at the beginning of the game. If you're Mamba, your back's against the wall. I feel like you kind of avoid risky plays, or on the contrary, some people with elimination games take all the risk. I mean, you got it's now or never. So we'll really see it. But I feel like for the most part, people try to play a little bit more conservatively whenever they're in an elimination game. They don't want to make any major mistakes that could cost the game and therefore the series.
Yeah, it's sort of a duality you have to think about. Do you want to force plays? Do you want to trust your early game aggression? Or take control of objectives and set up for team fights in the later stages? For now, they're just starting things off normal. Both junglers will be going to clearing up towards that top side in Defiance, and Tony this time around in game 3, the sub jungler here for Mamba, will be headed up there on this Echo, a pick we have not seen all series. A lot of these picks we've seen before, and this is another one that we have not had a pleasure to witness. It is Hacksaw on a carry, and he's playing that Jax.
We see that classic pressure for the Mamba Mentality bot lane. Mario Flames keeps the gas and the pressure on against the enemy bot lane.
Trying to push this wave in as quick as possible. Shifo maybe thinking about something aggressive there, but Hacksaw hits level 2, so you have to be careful about the stun. Slider looking to make something in mid lane, and be careful, Shredded Lettuce. Scat of the Week doesn't land the stun, but it's enough to push Slider back and away. I say absolutely right. Mario on this Karma is just so abusive. It feels like you have to be so careful, as both of these bot side lanes are getting pretty aggressive, hefty trading back and forth.
Yeah, goalkeeper and Vicky's like, no, we can fight back. We can poke back. But the wave is slowly creeping towards that Chicken Gang tower. I'm very interested to see Hacksaw in this top lane matchup versus Sheepo, because fighting champions, fighters in the top lane is definitely Sheepo's territory. It is not Hacksaw's territory, so Hacksaw decided to meet Sheepo on his ground. And we'll see. I'm really interested to see how he holds himself up in this lane. It is definitely advantageous for Sheepo just based off of history and rank. Like Sheepo is peak D2, Hacksaw is a gold player for his team. And we're gonna look at the potential to look at, but Tony is here.
Flash away from Hacksaw. He will lose out on that 5-minute cooldown. Mario looking for a little bit of a hefty trade onto Inviction, who has to flash himself away from that tether. Tony's shown up onto the top side to give Shifo a little bit of trouble as he tries to crash this wave under the top tier 1. But overall, no blood spilled just quite yet.
Peak D2, Shifo's jungle account is D1 at the moment, says Burst Phantom in the chat. I'm sorry, I apologize. Peak Diamond 1 for Shifo.
Looking.
Oh wow, look at that
jungle
from In Defiance. I think he just spell shielded that. Yep.
And that's going to allow him to grab the Scuttle along with bot lane priority as well. Should have no problem grabbing bot Scuttle. And that's a double crab angle for In Defiance. He has run this jungle so far after a failed gank attempt in top lane from Tony. They know exactly what camps are on cooldown. He's going to grab both crabs now. He's going probably to take these Krugs and into a reset. Drake is up in 20 seconds, so Tony will have a timer here to look for this objective, but you need your laners to push out and gain priority so you can start this one up.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a really good start from In Defiance. In Defiance, a very experienced jungler, knows his pathing, took advantage of seeing Tony in that top lane. So I was like, hey, easy, free money. We'll get both of those scuttles, and that'll give him quite the lead in the jungle. Ooh, we see Hacksaw here taking a tower shot and taking this. Oh my god!
Oh, there's no flash on Hacksaw. Only how long can you survive for? Shifo final auto solo kill in the top lane. Hacksaw tries to go for a fighter and he loses out big.
Yeah, that was rough. That was rough. So much damage coming out there from Silas. And Hacksaw just not able to win that one.
Rough spot for your lane to be in as well. You have no flash from the earlier one-on-one, and then this time it leads into a kill. Shifo commits a flash of his own, and solo kill for Shifo. He was such a crazy threat last game on the Camille, and he's already off to a big lead in this one. Up 8 creeps, a whole wave, a little bit more than that, and already has a solo kill to his name. As Drake is online, but Tony, he's heading the other way, trying to go back and defend his Raptors. It'll be smited away by Indefiance, doing some smart old counter jungling.
And the jungle lead just grows for Indefiance, finding his way, making, like I said, that experience in the jungle, grabbing camps and gold wherever he can. And now, yeah, we'll see that, yeah, Hacksaw is definitely struggling here in this top lane.
Yeah, the gold toggled there so beautifully by Observer as well. He's already 700 gold down to Shifo. That's really rough stuff, especially for a Jax who is expected in an R5 pick to get the lane win in this draft, but sadly will not be able to do that. Slider thinking about going all in there, but decides against it at the last second. Shifo gonna just abuse Hacksaw to the maximum, and this is where this lane goes from bad to worse.
Yeah, somebody help him. Oh no. This kid, I don't. This is gonna spell disaster for Mamba if this continues. Cannot let Shifo really get this far ahead. And I'll say honestly, this is just such an incredible draft here. I think like really the difference, the reason what put Hacksaw in the situation is the genius draft by Ticket Gang, where they saw that the only like champion left up really for Hacksaw was the Shen. And they could have baited him into it by picking this Silas and this Nocturne. We knew what happened game 1. Whenever they had Silas and Nocturne and he played Shen, then they just used the Shen ultimate on Silas. But now we're in this awkward situation where, well, now you're playing a fighter here. Now this lane isn't as good. How much makes you think the other night was worth it? Oh.
Ooh, a lot of damage on Indefiance into the turret. Mario low as well. Won't be able to quite find Indefiance there. Young Slider looking for the play. There's the knock up with a little bit of an extra auto before the last breath comes out. Has the ignite, does not opt to use it. Only invests the ulti to chunk Shredded Lettuce down to about a 3rd HP. Sitting under this shirt. You got to be careful. Young Slider takes 2 turret shots though on accident. That means he's just as low.
Echo's in position here.
Tony looking for the play. Flash away from Shredded Lettuce. 5-minute cooldown, again expended. Mario hopping over the wall, but Bowkeeper's actually looking for the play. He gets the vision in the right spot, and Indefiance with the first Paranoia reaps nightmares to the likes of Mamba mentality. Under the turret, Tony goes, but away he escapes with a beautiful chrono break to evade the final bits of damage from the unleashed power. 1-for-1 trade across the map, but overall, Chicken Gang get the Drake, so they come out on top.
Yeah, good play there from Tony to finally, because they checked that a couple times. They got Ethan low, they blew his flash, and they were pressing center like, okay, let's finally get something out of it. So they did get something out of it, but they do lose things on the bottom side. We saw Mario Flames get run down there by Bowkeeper and Indefiance making good use of that Nocturne ultimate. He's so good at pressing the map with that Nocturne ultimate and making just proactive plays with this team. And that gets them the dragon.
1 Drake to 0 as we head into the 10-minute mark. Quick check. It is Bowkeeper doing a much better job on this Ezreal than we saw him in games past, keeping up with Quick Slice in terms of creep score. True Shot Barrage going to come out, doesn't find the mark. Arcane Shift away. Super Mega Death Rocket barely connects on the edge, and now Inviction's in trouble. Flash is going to take him away over the Flame Choppers, but the tether is there. The Polymorph does not break that chain, baby. The Wild Growth will save you only for so long. He actually manages to evade the play One member left at 1 HP in the bot lane, but here we go in mid. It is Shredded Lettuce trying to scatter the weak away from the play, but Young Slider's on the chase. Ignite's going down. The health pot not going to do very much with that. Grievous Wounds built into the summoner spell, and Slider gets himself one more. Tony's there for the assist, and 1 for 1, but all 2 going to go the way of Mamba.
And that right there is what Mamba needs. Like, that is actually what they need. As I was saying, like, I feel like it's gonna be feast or famine. We need to see them get on. Oh my God! Wait, Bowkeeper?
Keeper's in a little bit of trouble. Flash heal is in. Flash though is down. Defiance under his turret as well will be kept safe, but Bowkeeper, that's not a fight you want to be picking, man. That's not the right play. Quick Slice is too much damage. You need your support there. You need Inviction to keep you alive, and so Mamba, for the first time, will have themselves a gold lead with about 600 advantage.
Yeah, more of that. They wanted more scuffles. I think they want this game to be very unorganized and like little scuffles all around the map like that, with like people making individual plays. I think that is how you want to attack Chicken Gang if you want to get those little leads here and see if you can make something out of it. Their champions are pretty good at that. Little scuffles. Echo's incredible with that. Yasuo's incredible at that. Jinx just showed that Jinx is no slouch in that situation whenever Ezreal tried to come up on her, but she had the damage, she had the wave.
Here we go in mid lane, but the counter gank is so beautiful from the likes of Indefiance. Feared up, and Slider's gonna go low. He's gonna go down 3-3 as Chicken Gang even up the kill count.
Mid's lagging. Young Slider is lagging.
Is that the excuse for dying in mid? No, I'm just joking. Yeah,
No.
guys, I was lagging, I promise.
He did have flash available, it seems like. Maybe he was trying to spam flash away.
Yeah, he goes in for the play.
I guess he was weird. Yeah, I'm not sure if he was if he would have been able to, but yeah, that could. There's a potential that the lag did do something. Did they ban Yuumi? Yuumi is disabled.
Yumi's disabled. That's interesting.
Yumi's currently disabled because I'm not sure if there's been a patch yet for the bug where Yuumi was like disappearing and like invisible and stuff like that. But yeah, that was a bug that was appearing earlier around the start of playoffs, and we decided to just, if we were going to disable it for the gauntlet, we just want to disable it for the whole playoffs, just to have all the playoffs played like in the same environment.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I did not know that she had a bug like that, but
it's incredibly fun, actually. I saw a video on it, and it's like, oh, that's not fair at all.
Yeah,
that
that's
still exists, or does it? Oh, okay.
All right. Run into a quick pause, quick check on the game state. We're all dead even, actually, in terms of gold. 17.0 to 17.0. 3 kills to 3 kills. The only thing separating these two teams, Ito, is a Rift Herald and a Drake. So objectives. Indefiance has been so good at securing those, and he has grabbed himself both to start this one off.
Yeah, very, very true. Like I said, just like the path thing, like Tony's made a good job of getting some ganks and getting some kills, but the path thing of Indefiance and just getting these objectives and just like getting these camps with the double scuttle earlier and just being at the right place at the right time. Definitely Indefiance is having a huge impact on this game right now. And he's on this Nocturne. And we see, top lane is just, I'm glad we have not seen Jax die again. I think he's done a good job on that. Guys, top lane is very, very rough right now. They're going to have to deal with that problem eventually in the top lane, but for now, they are just fighting elsewhere. Lots of fights around the mid lane. Lots of fights around this Echo and this Yasuo, and they have a slight lead in the bot lane with Jinx having a kill and about a wave of CS over the Ezreal.
We're still running into tech issues. Not sure how long it's going to take, so if possible, we'll go to a brief intermission and then resume this action as soon as we get back. Shouldn't be all too long, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a quick technical break. Welcome back, everyone, here to the BTL. We are straight back into the action. Apologies for the short technological break, but it is no slouch on the action as Rifttail is summoned up in mid lane. Will straight charge on forward. Gold will be divided along the chicken gang for all 4 members there. Will take home a slight paycheck and wait. You'll see some of these little small glitches and pauses. That is just the right spaghetti code fixing itself after the pause.
I was like, wait, are we all like simultaneously getting this slight little pause here? It looked like we did. Interesting.
Yeah. It's gonna happen, right? It's a great company or a small indie company, one or the other. Tony, by the way, is getting ulted on in mid lane, but he uses the corner break to evade on that one. Mario Flames has the tether on him. Shredded Lettuce is in a little bit of trouble. True Shot Barrage tags 1, and it will find the kill, double killing over to Shifo in mid. The whole team arrived in time and turned it around.
Shifo, but a very, very clutch teleport there. Shredded Lettuce was in a lot of trouble as the members of Mamba Mentality ascended upon him, but an incredible clutch teleport from Shifo comes in and he picks himself 2 kills. And oh god, Shifo is going to be a problem in this game for Mamba Mentality. I'm not sure how they're going to solve it. I'm sure that they're wondering it themselves. Do they just have a link?
I'm wondering it as well.
I mean, Jax scales forever. I mean, does Jax eventually beat like does full item Jax eventually beat a Silas? I'm not exactly sure. I know that Jax is an incredible late game scaler. So maybe that's their plan. But right
they
now
have a lot of scaling elements.
Yeah, they do.
Mario looking for the tether again. The zap is beautiful. The traps are layered perfectly. Inviction has the wild growth, loses it at just the last minute. Super Mega Death Rocket lands, but it's not enough to go through the shield of Inviction. So ult for ult used there on bot side, but Drake is up in 5 seconds and Inviction has to base.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, Hacksaw. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I can see what's about to. Oh, poor man.
Oh my, what was that? Oh no, he stepped over the freaking scuttle crab. That is rude in Defiance. He almost got away. Bowkeeper on bot side is running for the hills, but you're running the wrong way, man. That's back to the enemy nexus. That's not yours. Don't E over the wall. Just accept your fate. And Tony 2 Raw will get the bot laner 1-for-1 trade again. But this time, it's Mamba Mentality that are the ones that have the numbers around the Drake pit.
I mean, honestly, Hacksaw making in Defiance use ultimate there is a win. That is completely a win. As far as I'm concerned, I see that as a complete and total win. If you are Jax, that you were able to even survive that for more than a second, and forcing the Nocturne ultimate out, because like Nocturne should have tried to ult in that pit or tried to make a play happen elsewhere. The Nocturne ultimate is a huge ultimate cooldown to blow, but we do see the Defiance is just eating camps wherever he can. Just getting such a huge lead, up 23 CS on Tony. Tony does get the trade back though of the red buff on the other side of the map.
So even trade, but Defiance certainly ahead overall on the game. Has the Stride Breaker, so he's going for that Bruiser style build. Tony, meanwhile, going for that upfront burst with the full AP. Let's see what item he decides to complete as he takes a couple more camps on his bot side. And Bowkeeper and Inviction just trying to shove this one out. Should get this one on the turret. And Slider's actually going to be matching these 2 in the bot lane for now, as Quick Slice heads his way into mid lane to get that priority moving.
And no neutral objectives on the map. We do have a... Is that a Scuttle Crab or a bear? That's a Scuttle that'll be... Not a Scuttle. A Rift Herald that'll be spawning soon. In 10 seconds. In Defiance captured the first one. Yeah, some camps. We're going to see on the way pings, in fact, over to the Rift Herald. And they do, of course, have priority in the top lane, as they've had priority at the top lane since like 30 seconds into the game. Oh, we have the bot lane and Mamba Mentality are here. What are they doing? Ooh, what's the
In
plan?
Defiance has the ultimate as well. Shifo's gonna face check into a bush. She's gonna get trapped on up. Here comes In Defiance onto the back line with the paranoia. Shifo's already taken to out half HP ignite, but it's just too much damage onto Hackstall. It's a nice super mega death rocket to add in a little bit more DPS, but it's just not enough. Double kill to Shifo. They're gonna track down Quick Slice, and even Bonekeeper gets involved in the action. All 5 members of Chicken Gang were ready for that play. They respond so beautifully. 3-0 plus a Rift Herald.
Ooh. They were the ones making the play that thought that they were the ones in position, but suddenly here is all of Chicken Gang, and they did not have all of Mamba. Tony and Young Slider were nowhere to be found in that fight. They did not expect all 5 members of Chicken Gang to show up there. They thought that they had to catch out on Stifa, but no, it was them that were caught out instead.
Top tier 1.
Looking rough.
Gonna be dropped over. Hacksaw needs to be very careful here. Has to use a control ward just to hop away. And he just is too squishy at this point. He has no extra health other than the resistances provided by the Merc Treads. He is just as squishy as he was earlier on, minus the base stats, of course. But other than that, Chicken Gang, they are looking to put this series to bed 3-0, and they're off to a good lead.
Their third place match is being asked in the chat. No, there is not a third place match. We just do winner takes all. Although, I mean, if someone wanted to do a third place match, I mean, I guess we could do a third place match. But
it's proof that you do it all here at BTL. Yeah, just deciding if there's gonna be a third place match in the middle of the semifinals.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much how we run it here. It's a community-run tournament. People ask for ideas and suggestions, and sometimes I'm just like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. We could try to do that.
Sounds like a great idea.
Talk something. But no, in the past we've just done winner takes all. So and usually people don't really stick around to figure out third place. Like for example, if there was prizing for third place, then we would do a third place match. Like if there was actually if third place got some type of prizing, but we just give all the prize money to the winning team. So most of the time the third and fourth place people don't really care enough to stick around for another best 3 after they've already won. Oh my god.
Quick Slice is at 1 HP. True Shot Barrage doesn't connect, but the Flash Dark Sphere from Shredded Lettuce will. And they commit everything for the play. Tony on the flank. He's going to get Wild Growth away from it. Here comes In Defiance. Has to use the corner break. Does Tony. TP's in from Hacksaw, but it's just going to be immediately returned on. Shredded Lettuce is going to get one taken out. Mario walking away from the chains from the TP and in Shifo. 1 for 1. Again, these teams going blow for blow, but it always feels like, oh, Tony.
Wait, he's still alive? Wait, he's still alive?
He's on the wrong end of this one, though. He's in between turrets that do not belong to him. Nice stun onto In Defiance, but it's only so long you can survive. Make it 2 overall as Mamba lose out on that play.
It's looking rough for Mamba Mizhari. Oh boy, is it looking rough. This is just getting harder and harder by the minute. And they're gonna lose out on the Mountain Dragon. Gonna be 2 dragons for Chicken Gang.
Drake, number 2 going their way. Jinx Rocket not able to do it. Thank you, Riot, for the cap on neutral objectives. That one at maximum can do around 800 damage. Won't be able to finish off that Drake. And Shifo working on bot tier 1. Hacksaw trying to respond, though, by knocking down top tier 1. Shredded Lettuce is going to contest, but the mid lane priority is always going to go to Boatkeeper and Inviction.
Very true. Yeah, just kind of think about, okay, what's your win condition? Where is your goal situated right now? Who can take you to the promised land? I think you got to look at Tony looking for something. He's not going to find anything. We know that, but he doesn't know that yet. I guess he knows that now. I think you're looking at Jinx and Yasuo. That's trying to take you to those Laker characters that take you to the promised land. Jax is also a potential character that is able to do that, but Jax is struggling right now.
I mean, Echo is as well. Tony can scale up in one-shot backline. Like, you know how much damage you did to Shredded Lettuce in the last fight. That's only going to get more, right? Shredded Lettuce doesn't really build resistances.
That's true.
Lots of scaling threats.
There's four threats. We didn't mention that before.
Yeah, it's just you need the gold, right? Your team isn't designed to be behind. You don't want to be scrounging up gold. You want everyone to be flourishing with their own incomes, and instead they're all having to sort of pass around chump change at this point in the game, and it's not working well for them as they are significantly behind.
Looks like this will be a bot lane tower falling. And indeed it will. Bot lane tower going over to Chicken Gang, now ahead 3-1. And the Baron is alive as well. We're gonna see Hacksaw going in for but the simple shove away by Syndra so effortlessly. Saying, get off of me.
Doesn't even need to actually land the stun with the orb. He just simply moves them out of the way. It'd be funny if Syndra could pick him up with a W as well and just sort of pick him up and chuck him out. But sadly, that's not an interaction in the game. So
sadly and also happily, that'd be ridiculous.
It would be so much fun to watch.
It would.
I don't think Hacksaw would appreciate that one at this point. Tony fishing for the stun. Again, won't find anything as these two teams honestly are taking this one considerably slower than we saw in last game. There's been a lot of fighting around topside 1v1, but outside of that, there's really been a quiet performance. In Defiance has used that ulti time and time again. Oh, just as I spoke of it, he barely misses out on Hacksaw and he gets away.
As to what happened there. I was like, huh? Someone just disappeared. I see Hacksaw got the recon completed. Tony's on Goalkeeper.
Follows that arcane shift with the dash 4. The chompers are going to be thrown out. Tony and Mario both about half HP, and Viction down to about 3/4. But no one is in any kill threat just quite yet. Tony still has the ulti. Don't want to burn any critical cooldowns right now, Ito, because Drake spawns in about 90 seconds.
Very, very true. Just going to see Chicken Gang getting more priority on this map, pushing forward these minions. They're making it so that they will be the first person to either of these objectives.
All right, Mamba, what do you have in the tank? What do you have to bring back this series? You're looking at a 2-item. Jinx, Quick Slice has the AoE, has the true damage with the Kraken Slayer. Young Slider has the shield bow completed for a little bit of extra safety when he dives that back line. And Hacksaw, critically, has finally completed his first item with the Bork. Has a Sheen as well for added damage. Bookkeeper dodging out on that tornado. But you need these carries and their gold to be put to such good use. If you can't immediately get that burst and access onto the backline, you know what In Defiance and Shifo are going to do to you. These guys are strong. Combined with a kill score of 905, their pockets are full of gold.
1000%. You know, another thing here is that they can go for is Mamba could go for split pushing because they have incredible split pushers here. But 1-3-1 is so difficult to play. I feel. We'll see. Like they have, I mean, if they could avoid team fighting and just split push this entire game, they could win off of that. But that is be so hard to do with the tools. If I would say it'd be easier to do if Chicken Gang didn't have access to a Nocturne that just forces fights to happen. Oh no, yes. I'm so scared for this man.
Forcing fights to happen. They're gonna force their hand onto the bot lane. It is Young Slider that goes down at the worst timing possible. Ito, 5 seconds until that Drake is up.
And like, you have to know that you're playing against a Nocturne. You have to be aware of that in that situation. I'd say you got to push the wave out, but like you gotta be a lot more conservative as to how far you push the wave out and how far you stay out by yourself. Without having the vision in their jungle, you need to have those Nocturne wards, those long range wards where you can see potential spots where Nocturne will ult you from, and they just simply did not have that information available to them. So let's get caught out.
And Drake secured. So point now for Chicken Gang. You wanted to back up against the wall kind of performance from Mamba mentality. This is it. There is no more room for error. You lose a team fight now, you lose Baron. You lose a team fight in a few minutes, you lose Mountain Soul. A few minutes after that, you're talking about things like Elder. Those are game-winning conditions. then the base comes and it's just too much to deal with. Mario Flame's gonna have to use the Mantra E to get himself out to safety as Tony Raw might just be feared up. No, barely escaping the tether, but they're on the chase. Flash away from Tony. Here comes the Shirelius, but the paranoia is in, but it's gone a little bit too far, and Defiance is gonna have to go golden. Knock up onto Shifo, not able to take it just quite yet. The Everfrost is a beautiful disengage. True Shot Barrage will tag Slider on the back end. Shifo looking for the dive, not able to find it. Chrono Break still available for Shifo. He had stolen that one away just moments ago. Everyone escapes with their life. Ito barely somehow keeping themselves out of this fight. But Baron's still online. You have to be so careful about this. Waiting over the wing. Hacksaw looking for it. Flash is going to find the likes of Boatkeeper. Flashing away himself. Barely keeping himself alive with the heal. The Ignite's still ticking. But Hacksaw's already gone. Here comes a Chrono Break. Knock up onto two. Young Sliders found himself a double kill already. He's dashing and slashing his way through the team. Boatkeeper's already dead, but Quick Slice is dead as well. Both midi carries not available for the fight. Hopping back forward to Shifo. He's got so much damn life steal. Double killing over to Shredded Lettuce. Make it a triple with the force of will. Scout of the week, baby, as everyone falls from the Mamba gang.
Boy, you really had to win that if you're a Mamba. That was a fight that was advantageous for you. That was the fight that you wanted. You got a stun onto Boatkeeper. You killed Boatkeeper early. Spencer was bot lane and had to teleport into that fight. She wasn't even there at the beginning. You really want to win that fight, and they were not able to get that team fight victory, and that is so very difficult for Mamba. That also is such a tilter. That is hard to keep that mental after losing a fight like that, a fight that you know you should have won. You had the number advantage in that fight. You know you should have won. But then just the members, that just shows you how powerful and how strong members of Chicken Gang are right now, that they were able to fight that from a number disadvantage. Like, Shifo is an absolute monster. An absolute monster. It was able to make up for multiple members of his team there, as well as the Syndra as well. Syndra playing incredibly well there.
From the stopwatch, from Indefiance to the Chrono Shift from Shifo, there's just so much ability to buy time. Inviction doing a great job of keeping his team alive as well, and it's really rough bearings now for Mamba mentality as they face just about a 5,000 deficit in terms of gold. They are down 2 dragons up against Soul Point. On top of that, they're losing their map. They have dropped all outers and now have to defend inner turrets as Shifo has complete control over this jungle, forces Tony out of his own camps.
Boy, oh boy. Hacksaw is down 3 levels on Shifo. Shifo is level 16. I was talking about that split push potential win condition. It does not exist if your split pusher is down that heavily against the other solo laner, because you cannot match him in the side lane. Hacksaw versus Shifo in the side lane right now is just going to be just a resounding victory for Shifo.
All right, Trinity Force is in for Hacksaw. He's finally completed his second item, so they're actually technically even in items, but that's kind of hard to say because it's a 22-stack Magi's plus the extra bit of magic with the tome into the Fiendish Codex. So yeah, Shifo definitely going to win out on that one, plus the level difference, but Hacksaw can do work. He has 2 items. This is where Jax really can come online. Just needs more levels, needs more experience to be able to survive the damage that Shredded Lettuce and Boatkeeper can throw out on him. 30 seconds until Mountain Soul spawns, and you need to be careful not to get picked by this Nocturne once again. And Young Slider actually needs to hurry on down here.
Yeah, he does not have teleport available. Oh, looks like Mario Flames.
Oh,
What?
he's alive. The enchanted W there. The tether keeps Mario Flames alive along with the Shirelius. Loses out on a couple downs for it, but Shifo might be in a little bit of trouble. He takes a Chrono Break, plus he has a Wild Growth. The man will never die at this point in the game. He's going to hop forward, and Shifo is godlike quite literally on this Silas. Oh, man. Good night. Quick Slice. 1-2 punch to the throat, and he's knocked down to the ground. Shifo's looking for more, as it's going to be windwalled away by the Abscond Abduct. Hacksaw looking for the stun, but the Chrono Break will get him right back to safety. Conqueror is fully procced, but it does not matter. Mamba mentality are losing soul.
Look at Shifo. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him in between the towers and diving and just going at 1v3 and 1v5ing. He really cannot be touched right now. He's an absolute monster that Momentality cannot handle. in the slightest. And then whenever you see, whenever you see quick slide just get absolutely deleted like that, it's starting to look really, really doomed.
And it is now Baron on the board for the likes of Chicken Gang. I'm not sure you can give this one away if you're Mamba mentality. You have to go in for the steal. You have to go in for the hero play. But here comes Sheep with the knock-up. There's the last breath. It was hijacked away. And so was the win from Mamba mentality because Sheepo is legendary. 8-0-5 in the Silas. I say his name again. Sheepo is just too damn good. Rocket will find Defiance. That's the jungler down. Maybe a little bit of trouble. Hacksaw gonna get rooted on up by the Abduct. Stunned. Inviction having to flash away. Sheepa with the Wild Growth is getting burned down. Hop over the wall with the Abscond. But Baron is secured by Shredded Lettuce. It was all a distraction. Sheepa running a ruse around this team. And he's in the middle of everyone 1v4. Gotta be careful. Who does the shutdown go to? It goes to Quick Slice. That's a fat paycheck to this Jinx. But they lose Baron 2 for 2. And now it's time for the siege.
Doing the best they can. Doing the best they can. They honestly, I mean, they just, yeah, they finally killed Sheepa, but Sheepa was just a distraction. And like, look what it took to kill him. Look what it took to kill him. They had to throw everything and the bus at him in order to actually kill him once. That's his first death this game, and he's just playing incredibly dangerously. He's just that far ahead, that much of a monster right now. I will say the shutdown on Jinx is ideal. That is ideally where you want it to be. But boy, oh boy, can they keep Jinx alive in these fights? We saw what Syndra has been able to do. Syndra is also doing quite well in this game. And Syndra is just always a champion that has the capability to absolutely delete an attack damage carry off of the map.
Another scat of the week there does not land, but the damage connects all the same onto Tony. As with Baron and Mountain Soul, man, it doesn't get much harder to kill these guys at any point in the game. Chicken Gang are throwing themselves at this mid-tier 2, excuse me, as Defiance will clear out mid, hang around for a little bit longer, but he's not the one with Baron and power, so instead the rest of the team will rotate on top lane, get that wave on of pushing, and really start applying cross-lane pressure here.
True, and yeah, they could just, it's crazy. Chicken Gang could just play so dangerously, but they're just so far ahead they don't really get punished for it. They can take the risk, and if it works out for them, they just get further and further ahead. And that's kind of what's happening here. They can't even take the 2v1 versus FIFA right now.
Hacksaw under this tier 2 is going to have to give it up. Bowkeeper putting in the final shots. Shifa landing the abscond duck into Cider, but he's going the wrong direction. Everfrost is not going to connect, but Cider is only just running a little bit of time disruption at this point. Last breath, sure, but you're never going to have enough damage to kill this Silas. Shifo is hopping forward, and he is slaying the enemy mid laner. Slider is knocked down, and the rest of the team was pushing all along. An attempted engage, but the disengage is just too strong. Here comes a Paranoia as well. Super Mega Death Rocket goes wide. Defiance uses the ulti just to walk away in the Shroud of Darkness. And Shifo continues to push away. Oh, that was so cheeky from Shifo. I'm not sure if you noticed what he just did there.
I did not see what he did.
He used Chrono Break to base, buy items, and then immediately Chrono Break back to lane. That is so beautiful from Shifo. That is amazing to see. You always hear about those kind of interactions as Tony has to walk away. Inhibitor number 1 dropped, and I think we might have our finalists. Don't want to spoil it too soon, but man, oh man, do Chicken Gang look good.
They are looking incredibly good. They are in form. Their drafts were good, and their execution followed it. Because there were some good drafts from Mamba too, but the execution and the actual gameplay was just always in favor of Chicken Gang this series. And again, don't want to call it over, but it's hard.
All's done. All's done, but the crying here, Ito. That's all we have left to do. Shifo is going to collect the final blue buff, and I'm not sure, even if you are Chicken Gang, that you want to wait this one out any longer. Closed it out in the final push. They already have Soul, and here is the attempt. Shifo hopping forward, taking Chrono Break once again from the likes of Tony. That ultimate is just simply better at this point on him. And good night, Mario Flames. And the paranoia to surrender the game. It's a absolute slaughter from the likes of Chicken Gang. Hacksaw is trying his best, but he just does not stand a chance. And Defiance will lose his Guardian Angel, but man, are they singing proud tonight, because your finalists, Chicken Gang, will take down these Mamba mentalities.
Ooh-wee, and what a dominating performance it was.
Man, look at those damage charts from Shifo. He just destroyed game 3.
Yeah, yeah. Sifo, that's why he is one of the MVP candidates. That is why he was said to be the best top laner in this league, because of performances like that he's done throughout this BTL season. We see Quick Slice putting in his absolute best, putting in work, doing the second most damage in the game, but it is not quite enough whenever Shifo is doing so very, very much, as well as the Syndra and the Ezreal. Good performances all around from Chicken Gang. Chicken Gang takes a commanding 3